Okay, good afternoon, students. Yesterday class, we studied about boundary surface diagram, isn't it? Boundary surface diagram for s orbital, p orbital, and d orbital. So those are again very important. And I forgot to tell about one thing. So that is about degenerate orbital. So what do you mean by degenerate orbital, student? I already mentioned it is. What do you mean by the orbital have same energy, isn't it? If in case I'll consider px, py, and pz, these are degenerate orbital because we consider these have equal energy. Clear? Again, if we consider dxy, dyz, dzx, dx square minus y square, dz square, again, all these have same equal energy. So any orbital which have equal energy or same energy, those are known as degenerate orbital. Clear? So this is one thing. Another thing I want to explain, that is about angular node. That is about angular node and spherical node. About angular node and spherical node. So students, we already studied about nodes, isn't it? We already studied about nodes. Nodes are nothing but where the probability of finding electron is zero, isn't it? So where the reason where the probability of finding electron is zero, that point is, or that is known as nodes, isn't it? So now the question, what do you mean by angular nodes, or it is also known as nodal plane? These are known as nodal plane. And what is spherical node? And that spherical node is also known as radial node. Radial nodes. So angular node or nodal plane, and this one is spherical node and radial. So in case of angular node, if in case I'll consider any orbital, it may be a py. If in case we consider py orbital, in that case, this is one plane, isn't it? This is one plane which again, which passes through a node, isn't it? And there is another plane that is nothing but z plane, which again passes through a node. And these two are with the help of, that means we can calculate angular node. We can calculate angular node, that is angular node is always equals to L. Angular node is always equals to L. Clear? If in case I'll consider L equals to 0. What about angular node, student? How many angular nodes were there? 0. If in case I'll consider L1, angular node is 1. If in case I consider L equals to 2, angular node equals to 2. Clear? So this is about angular node. So now the question, what do you mean by spherical node? So I already mentioned, if in case we are considering 2s, that means if we consider two bangers where there is some space around this which is empty, isn't it? And that empty cell or node or the region where the probability of finding electron equals to 0 is known as spherical node or is radial node. Clear? So now what is the equation or the formula to find spherical node? So now spherical node is equals to n is nothing but principal quantum number minus L is nothing but azimuthal quantum number minus 1. N minus L minus 1 is nothing but your spherical node. If in case I consider 2s orbital, if in case I'll consider 2s, or else I'll consider 1s orbital itself, I want to tell another thing. After that, we'll take example, okay? So now, this is about angular node and this is about spherical node. Now, what about total node? Therefore, total node equals to n n minus L minus 1. This is nothing but spherical node plus angular node. Clear? Total node is nothing but it is a summation of angular node and spherical node. So that is nothing but n minus L minus 1 plus L. What is the final formula? L gets cancelled. So that is nothing but n minus 1. Clear? So now we will consider example 1s. What is angular node? Angular node, I'll consider an, okay? Angular node and then spherical node and that final one is total nodes. For 1s, what about angular node? For 1s, for 1s it is. What is angular node, student? L, it is equals to L, yes. For yes, L equals to 0. What is spherical node? What is spherical node? Spherical node equals to n minus L minus 1. What is n here? 1. 1 minus, what is S or L? 0 minus 1, that is equals to again 0 itself. What is total number of nodes? That is 0, isn't it? If in case I'll consider 2s orbital, if in case I consider 2s orbital, what is this? Angular node equals to again 0 because it is yes. This one, spherical node is 2 minus 0 minus 1. So that is nothing but 1. And the total number of nodes, 0 plus 1 is 1, isn't it? So now I'll consider 2p orbital. Answer, student. For angular node, p is there. We know for s, L equals to 0. For p, L equals to 1. For d, it is 2. What is this? Answer is 1. Yes. Next, what is this? That is spherical node. 2 minus, what is the value of L? 1 minus 1. That is equals to 0. And total number of nodes is equals to 1. Is this clear? If in case I'll consider 3p. If in case I'll consider 3p formula. So this one, angular node L is 1 and spherical node is 3 minus 1 minus 1. That is equals to 1. That is equals to 1 and total number of nodes equals to 2. Is this clear, student? Just remember this formula. Angular node is always equals to L. So that means if in case you are considering s orbital, so there is no node. That means angular node is 0. If in case you are considering p, in that case it is 1. If in case you are considering d, it is 2. Spherical node depends on n and L, n minus L minus 1. And total node is nothing but summation of these two, angular node and spherical node. Is this clear, student? This is clear? So just find out these three values for 4p, 4d and 4f. Okay? So we'll continue next topic. So that is about electronic configuration, very important. So what is electronic configuration, student? What is electronic configuration? So distribution of electron into the orbital of an atom is called as this one, electronic configuration. What do you mean by electronic configuration? Distribution of electron into orbital. It is orbital of an atom is known as electronic configuration. Distribution of electron in an atom is known as electronic configuration. Is this clear, student? So electronic configuration is nothing but distribution of electron in an atom. So now, so to arrange the electron in atomic orbital, clear? Distribution of electron in an atom in case of orbital, okay? So to arrange those electrons in atomic orbital, we have to know these three important rules or principles. So these are again very important three rules. You'll get this for 1 mark. Clear definition or statement. You'll get this for 1 mark for final exam. So first one I'll consider of Bohr. Aufbau principle. This is Pauli's exclusion principle, and last one is Hund's rule. Okay, first one, Aufbau principle. Aufbau principle. So in German, Aufbau means building up. Clear? So lower level to higher level. It is building up is known as Aufbau. Now the question, what is Aufbau principle? In the ground state of an atom, if in the ground state of an atom, the orbitals are filled in increasing order of their energy. In the order of their increasing energy. That means electron must filled in a lower energy level. After that, it built or it was filled in a higher energy level. And we know the formula to calculate the energy of orbital, isn't it? What is the formula to calculate the energy of orbital, student? What is the formula to calculate energy of orbital? Yeah, that is N plus L rule, isn't it? We know this. And according to Aufbau principle, in the ground state, in the ground state in the ground state of the atom of the atom of the atom, the orbitals are filled, the orbitals are filled in the increasing order of increasing order of energy. That means electron must first occupy in the lower energy level or lower orbital. Okay, lower energy orbital. For that I'll consider here 1s, 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p. After this, yeah, there is 3p, 3d, and 4s. Just take that rule, n plus l rule. 3 plus 1, it is 4. And this is 3 plus 2, it is 5. And this is 4 plus 0, it is 4, isn't it? So that's why here we got 4s, after that 3d, and so on. Isn't it? Isn't it? So that means first electron, if we have 10 electron and it must filled in a orbital, what will be there? It is 1s2, yes, 2s2. So maximum number of electron in p orbital is, we know each orbital is composed with only 2 electron. So now the question is, what about p orbital? How many suborbitals were there? Px, py, pz, and each px, py, pz contains 2 electrons. So that's why it is 6, isn't it? So directly I'll write 6. Okay, so that means 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If in case it is 20, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, s orbital again 2, then p orbital 6, isn't it? So now again we have to fill 2 electrons. Now the question arises, if in case we are considering 3d here and 4s here, this is wrong. Because according to Aufbau principle, in the ground state of an atom, the orbitals are filled in the increasing order of energy. So that's why those 2 electrons must be filled in 4s orbital. Is this clear, student? Is this clear? If it is 21 or 22, in that case only d orbital is filled. Is this clear, student? So that means here electron must be filled in a lower energy orbital. That means it must be filled step by step, that lower energy to higher energy. Is this clear, student? Is this clear? And we know there is one method to write electronic configuration, isn't it? So order of filling of orbital. What? Yeah, we have to use comma, okay. So now 1s, 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p, 3d, 4s, 4p, 4d, 4f, 5s, 5p, 5d, 5f. So that means we have to take diagonal, isn't it? That means 1s, 2s, 2p, 3s, after that 3p, 4s, after that 3d, 4p, 5s, 4d, 5p, 6s. Yeah, that must be a comma. Okay, that must be comma. 1s, 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p, 4s, 3d, 4p, 5s. Just remember this, okay? Till 35 electron, that means atomic number, you have to write, or you have to know about the electronic configuration. 2 and 2, 2, 6, 2, 6, 10, again 2, 6, 10, and 14. Is this clear, student? Is this clear? Huh? So about that electronic configuration, again we'll study after these two rules, okay? After these two rules. Is this clear? First rule or first principle, Ahbab principle? It states that in the ground state of an atom was filled regarding or with a increasing order of energy. Is this clear, student? Okay, this is very important. You have to remember the statement. So while writing any statement, just try to write complete statement, because 1 marks for that complete statement. You have to write whole statement. Okay, so next one is Pauli exclusion rule or Pauli's exclusion principle. Pauli's exclusion principle. According to this, according to already mentioned that no two electron must have same sets of 4 quantum number. I already mentioned that, isn't it? Huh? No two, no two, no two, two. Two electron in an atom can have the same sets of 4 quantum number. 4 same sets of 4 quantum number. That means the electron must have different sets of quantum number. It must have different sets of quantum number. Yes, I'll write first. No two electron, no two electron, two electron in an atom, in an atom, in an atom can have same sets of 4 quantum number. 4 quantum number. No two electron in an atom can have same sets of 4 quantum number. So that means only two electron may exist in the same orbital, and this electron must have, and this must have different spin, or else opposite spin. We use opposite spin. Clear? So now I'll consider two sets of electron. In that case, N is equals to N itself, L equals to L itself, ML equals to ML itself. But when it comes to S, that is spin quantum number, in that case, one must have clockwise, another must have anti-clockwise. I already mentioned, if in case I'll consider 1s which contains 2 electron, in that case, single first electron, second electron, isn't it? If in case I'll consider the value of n for 1s, it is 1 and 1. isn't it? If in case I consider L, for yes, it is 0, 0. Huh? Both the electron have 0, 0, L value. Then if in case I'll consider Ml, it again have 0, 0. Isn't it? So fourth one and the last one is spin quantum number. It must be, that means one must have clockwise, another must have anti-clockwise. We use this sign also, spin up, spin down. Clear? Plus half and minus half. According to Pauli's exclusion principle, its statement, no two electron in an atom can have same sets of 4 quantum number. That means only 2 electron may exist in the same orbital. We already mentioned one orbital must contain only 2 electron with the opposite spin, isn't it? So exist in the same orbital, and this must have different spin or opposite spin. That is nothing but plus or minus half. Is this clear, student? Is this clear? So now if in case I'll consider px, if in case I'll consider px, okay, px, now it has a 2 electron, isn't it? What is the value of En? I'll consider 2px, okay, or 3px. What is the value of L here, N here? 3. For both the electron, 3, isn't it? Both the electron has a 3. L value again for P, it is 1 and 1, isn't it? So now about Ml. So we already mentioned this belongs to Px. That may be your -1 or 0 or +1. Clear? So that if in case it is 0, in that case it is also 0. If in case it is -1, in that case it is also -1. If it is +1, then also, that means it may be anything, but it is equal to each other. That means if in case you are considering -1 here, it also -1. If in case you are considering 0, this also 0. And final is a spin quantum number. So spin quantum number can't be plus half and plus half. This is wrong. It must be plus half and minus half. Plus half and minus half. Is this clear, student? This is very important and very easy, isn't it? So it is very interesting because we have to write electronic configuration, so that we have to know about these rules. So these are again very important rules. Okay, students, is this clear? So then I'll move for last rule, that is Hund's rule. Hund's rule for maximum multiplicity. According to this rule, pairing of electron in the orbital belonging to same shell does not take place until all the orbital filled with a single electron. Clear? I'll write first. Pairing of electron in the orbital belonging to same shell does not take place until each orbital filled with one electron. That means according to this Hund's rule, it explains that among the orbital of the same energy, electron do not start pairing until all these orbitals are singly occupied. Clear? So now again I consider Px, Py, Pz. We know P shell has 3 orbital, Px, Py, Pz. Isn't it? So now I'll consider box here, okay? I'll consider box. How many box will be there? How many box? Yeah, that is known as orbital diagram. It is known as orbital diagram, okay? This is known as orbital diagram. For D, yes, dxy, dyz, dzx, dx square minus y square, and dz square. Total 5. Total 5 orbital diagrams. Isn't it? For S, only one orbital diagram. Clear? So now question. If in case we know the maximum number of electron which were filled in p orbital is 6. Isn't it? Isn't it? So if in case I'll consider 4 electron, if in case I'll consider 4 electron, in that case, see here, one important thing, you have to mention this. In that box itself, it contains 2 electrons, isn't it? So if you mention like this, that means if you mention it like a same spin, it is wrong notation. Clear? If in case you have to note 2 electron, then it must be opposite spin. Opposite spin according to Pauli's exclusion rule, isn't it? So that's fine. Now, so there are 4 electrons I have to fill, isn't it? So if in case I'll consider like that, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Is this right? Is this right way to represent the electrons in an orbital? According to Hund's rule, pairing of electron in the orbital belonging to same shell does not take place until each orbital is filled with each electron. Yeah, we have to fill 3 first, isn't it? So see here, students. So first 4 electrons were there, isn't it? First, second one, and third one, according to Hund's rule, isn't it? Hund's rule explained that each and every orbital must be filled with single electron. After that, you can start pairing, isn't it? So now there is a 4th electron. So this one is a presentation. Is this clear, student? Is this clear? Again, I'll consider fifth orbital or 5 electron in a p shell. If in case I'll consider 5 orbital in a 5 electron, okay? If in case I'll consider 5 electron, then you have to fill it 1, 2, 3, after that 4. Pairing, isn't it? 5. Is this clear, student? Is this clear? Is this clear? According to Hund's rule, pairing of electron, if we write this in the form of, if in case I want to write only 2 electron in this shell, only 2 electron. This method is wrong. This method is wrong. So you have to fill like this. So this is right manner to write this. Yeah. Yes, Prithvi. We'll study in a hybridization process, okay? Where electron will jump from one state to another state. Is this clear? Is this clear? So now again I'll consider d orbital. If in case I'll consider d orbital. If there is d3, that means d3 electrons were there. In d shell, there are 3 electrons. In that case, it has a 5 orbital, isn't it? 1, 2, and 3. Clear? If in case it has a 6 electron, in that case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After that, opposite spin, 6. Third orbital has only one spin. Will it balance? So here we are not judging its energy, okay? It can transfer from one stage to another stage. I will explain that. It is known as exchange electron, exchange energy. Yeah. So, Shilpa. So now I'll consider D7. If in case I'll consider D7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Is this clear? According to Hund's rule, we have to fill each and every orbital with a single electron. After that, pairing will Is this clear, student? According to Hund's rule. It is according to Hund's rule. First one, Aufbau principle. It is nothing but it explains about the filling of electron in the increasing order of energy, isn't it? That is first one. Second one, Pauli's exclusion rule. In that he explained no two electron can have same sets of 4 quantum number. And the last one, Hans will explain that electron must be paid only after each and every orbital is filled with a single electron. Single electron. Mute your mic, student. Mute your mic. Okay, you have to again join, okay? Join once again after this session, okay? So now, last one. Is this clear, student, isn't it? So last one, we'll study about electronic configuration. So what is electronic configuration? Distribution of electron in an atom or atomic orbital is known as electronic configuration, where we can note it electronic configuration in the manner that is SA, PB, DC, or FD, whatever it is. Clear? So that means it is a first arrangement, or else you have to use orbital diagram. You can use orbital diagram. So that is nothing but this one. For S orbital, this is for P orbital, and this is for D orbital. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Clear? You can use these two manners to write. Yes. So now I already told you, if in case you are considering orbital diagram, in that while substituting the electron, we use arrow mark. Okay, we use arrow mark. This mark is nothing but 1 electron with a plus half spin. Arrow mark, this one, downwards is known as, again, electron itself with a negative spin. Just remember, student, either you have to use this one, that is with a positive sign with plus half, or it is clockwise. If in case you are using downwards arrow, it is negative sign, that means minus half or anti-clockwise. This one is clockwise and this one is anti-clockwise. So now I want to introduce two things. So that is about core electron, and second one is valence electron. Core electron, and second one is valence electron. So what is core electron, student? What is core electron? So I'll consider simple example. I'll consider sodium, okay? We know the electronic configuration. I'll just write 1s2. What is the atomic number of sodium, student? What is the atomic number of sodium, students? Reply. What is atomic number of sodium? 11, isn't it? So that is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, and 3s1. Isn't it? 3s1. So now here in this case, it is your completely filled, isn't it? So started classification of elements, isn't it? You got the stable state, isn't it? If in case there is a 8 electron, it is highly stable, isn't it? So now I consider core electron is nothing but these electrons which are in the complete filled shell. Electron in the completely filled shell. Clear? So core electron is nothing but, okay, it's okay. Core electrons are nothing but electrons in the completely filled shell. We don't use this. We don't use this. If in case we consider sodium, in that case 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is nothing but your core electron. But the main thing is about valence electron. What do you mean by valence electron? So valence electrons are nothing but electrons in the, or it is present in highest quantum number. That means electron in the last shell is known as valence electron. What do you mean by valence electron, student? So electron in the last shell or last principal quantum number is known as valence electron. Very important. So now the question, how many valence electrons were there in sodium? How many valence electrons were there in sodium? Yes. If in case I'll consider lithium, lithium atomic number, students, 3, 1s2, 2s1. Now the question, how many valence electrons? So total number of electron present in the lithium is 3. The question is, how many valence electron present in lithium? Yes, only 1. Isn't it? Isn't it? If in case I'll consider this one, sodium, or else I'll consider potassium. What about potassium, student? What about potassium? How many numbers of electron? Yes, atomic number of potassium, 19. Potassium is 19. Number of electron, number of electron, number of electron, valence electron, sorry, number of valence electron. Yeah. If in case I consider magnesium, sodium, magnesium, atomic number is, magnesium atomic number, student. Yeah, that is 12, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2. Total number of valence electron, that means electron in a last shell. That is 2 electron. That is nothing but your valence electron. Is this clear? Electron in the highest quantum number or else last shell is known as. So now I'll give some example. So just write this one, orbital diagram in your book, in your notebook. Okay, first one lithium, next one beryllium, next one boron, next one carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, after that fluorine. So I told you to write. First one, you have to write its electronic configuration. Lithium atomic number 3, for this 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and last one is 9. Isn't it? Okay. So next 1s2, 2s1. Isn't it? Next one 1s2, 2s2. Next one 1s2, 2s2. So then one electron is remaining, that is filled in. Next one 1s2, 2s2. 4 electrons were already filled, remaining is 2, so 2p2. Next one 7, 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. 1s2, 2s2, 2p5. Last one I'll consider neon. So that is atomic number 10. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. Now I'll consider 15 minutes. Now I'll consider orbital diagram. Okay. So first one, for this one. So there is 2 shells, isn't it? 1s, 2s, and this is 2p. First was filled with 2 electrons with the opposite spin, student. After that, there is only 1 electron, isn't it? So next one, just try Okay, next one. 2 electron in s orbital, so that's why I'll write with the opposite spin. Yeah, with the opposite spin. So next one. S is filled with again 2 electrons. This is 1s, this is 2s. Then for boron. So I'll consider this one, okay? 1s is filled with 2 electrons. Next one, 2s is filled with again 2 electron. Next, p orbital is filled with only 1 electron. Clear? So next one I'll consider here. So this is S, 1s, 2s, and this is 2p. So now electrons, 2 electrons, 1, 2, 1, 2, and this is 2. According to Hund's rule, you have to fill like this. Okay, next one. For this nitrogen, so how many electrons were there? 3 electrons were there, isn't it? So that's why we have to write. It contains 2 electrons completely filled with opposite spin. Again, completely filled with opposite spin. 3 electrons were there. According to Hund's rule, we have to fill first single electron. So again, this one. For oxygen, 4 electrons were there. This will remain as it is. 1, 2, 3, isn't it? After that, you have to start pairing. Clear? So next one for fluorine, I'll write like this only. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And finally, for neon, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Very important. Is this clear, student? Is this clear? So this is orbital diagram, and this is simple notation for the clear. Is this clear? Is this clear? So now see here. So this is and this one. These two orbitals or these two systems were very stable. These systems are stable. Why? Any idea, student? So in this system, that is P3 system and P6 system is very stable. Any idea why it is stable? Half and completely filled. So it's not about no gain or loss of electron, Prithvi. Here, this is half filled p orbital and this is completely filled d orbital, isn't it? So this one is half filled. 3 electrons were there and this is completely filled. 6 electrons were there, isn't it? So that's why those are very stable. So now the question, why stability? Why stability for these two? Why these two are highly stable? That means why half filled and completely filled orbitals were stable. So next one is about stability of half filled and completely filled orbital. Clear? So question for stability, isn't it? So this is about stability. So now there are two terms. One is symmetric distribution of electron. First one is symmetric distribution of electron, and second one is exchange electron. In that first one, because of high energy it is stable, student. High energy it is stable, but in this case the reason for this is symmetric distribution of electron and exchange energy. So now remember, if there is a symmetry in any form, it is highly stable. If there is a symmetry, if in case we consider p orbital, if in case we consider p orbital with single electron, that means half spin, p3, it contains 3 electrons, 1, 2, and 3. If in case we consider p6, it contains all 6 electrons. Isn't it? There is a symmetry, isn't it? There is a symmetry. Remember, student, whenever it is a symmetric, that means it can attain a symmetric nature or system. In that case, it is highly stable. And atom always tries to be unstable, isn't it? So that means it tried to be in a stable state. So that's why whenever it finds way for the stability or symmetric form, in that case, it starts to compose a symmetric session or symmetric system. Is this clear, student? So if in case we consider d orbital, d5 is again symmetric, isn't it? d5 is symmetric because all 5 electrons were singly filled. If in case we consider d10, again it is highly stable. That means in nature, everything needs stability, isn't it? But the stability attained when it forms symmetric distribution. If there is a symmetry, in that case, it is. Now we compare these two. Which one is highly stable, P3 or P6, students? P3 and P6, which one is highly stable? Yeah, P6 is very stable. If in this case, D10 is highly stable. But when we compare this with another thing, if in case I'll consider this one, I'll consider with P2. Which one is highly stable, P2 or P3? In that case, P3 is highly stable because of symmetry. Clear? That is one reason. That is one reason. Another one is exchange of energy. It is exchange of energy. Exchange of energy. Now I'll consider d orbital. Okay. Now I'll consider d orbital with a single field. Clear? In this case, what happens? So now I'll consider first, second, third, and fourth, and fifth electron, isn't it? So here, electron can exchange its position. That means it can jump from 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 or 1 to 4 or 1 to 5. Clear? That is first exchange method. If in case I'll consider second electron, it can jump from here to here, 2 to 4 or 2 to 5. Again, if in case I'll consider third shell, in that case, electron can move third to fourth or fourth to fifth shell. That means there is an exchange of position. Clear? There is a exchange of position. In that case, it again attain stability. So exchange of energy, that means as the number of exchange energy increases, stability increases. So here it is about exchange energy. It is not about energy. Yeah. Another orbital with degenerate orbital. We are talking here about degenerate orbital. This is about degenerate orbital, student. So if in case it is moving from one orbital with a lower energy to higher energy, there will be transition of energy. But here we considering degenerate orbital. Is this clear, student? Is this clear? So this is very important. So this is not for your syllabus, that means board exam syllabus, but you have to know this. Clear? To write electronic configuration, it is very important. To write electronic configuration, this is very important. So now I'll consider two examples. So just write the electronic configuration for vanadium with atomic number 23. So just try to write in your notes, student. Vanadium with atomic number 23. Yeah, 1s, 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p, 3d, 4s, 4p, 4d, 4f, 5s, 5p, 5d, 5f. Is this right? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2. After that, 3p6, 3p6. After that, 1s, 2s, 2p, 3p, 3d. After that, yeah, 4s, 4s2. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 plus 6, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So 3 is there. Yeah, that is 3D, 3D, 3, isn't it? So now I'll consider, so just I'll take a last shell, that is 4s and 3D. I'll consider 4s and 3D. 4s is filled with 2 electron and this one is 3D. 3D is filled with 3 electron, only 3 electron, isn't it? So this is for vanadium. Clear? So now just write the electronic configuration for chromium. Write electronic configuration for chromium with atomic number 24. 24. Yeah. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2, then 4s2. Yeah, there is one transition, isn't it? If in case we write commonly, it is 3d4, isn't it? Isn't it? But I already told orbital always tries to be in a stable state. If it find any way to attain a stability, that means it can form a stable configuration or stable state, it will change its configuration. If in case I'll consider chromium 1, 2, then 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just look at here, student. So to form a half-filled orbital, it needs only one electron, isn't it? For 3d5, it needs only one electron. So that means it can have a transition from 4s to 3d. Yes, that's why its electronic configuration will change as 4s1 and 3d5. It is very important, student. Just try to remember this. If in case the question, write the electronic configuration of chromium, if you write this is wrong. So whenever atom needs a stability, it can exchange its electron from one state to another state. If in case I'll consider manganese. So that is atomic number 25. 1s2. I'll write here 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2, and 3d5. This is already in a stable state, isn't it? This is already in, you can't see. You can't see. Yeah, I know. I'll use black marker, okay? Yeah, it's dark. For carbon, we'll take carbon as an example. For carbon, atomic number is, yeah, 6. Yeah, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, sorry, 2p2. So now the question is, why we don't use like this? Isn't it? So here, transition, again, this can also be formed in a higher energy state. Clear? In this case, it is again at a minimum distance. There is a minimum distance between nucleus and electron, isn't it? It is in a highly stable state itself. Clear? So there is a less distance between the nucleus and electron. So don't write like this, okay? This will not form. This will not form. Yeah, so this is only for higher order or higher electron system, or if in case we move from chromium, that means atomic number after 21, when 3D shell enters, in that case only we'll write like this, not for this. Don't use for this, okay? So don't use for this. Okay, now I'll give another example. Take nickel, then copper, and zinc, and try to write its electronic configuration. Atomic number is 28, 29 and 30. Just try to write for these three, okay? You'll come to know. Yeah, after that, there are again three: vanadium, nibodium, molybdenum. So these also have same changes, okay? Okay, students. So here ends your second chapter, that is nothing but structure of atom. So if you have any doubt, just text me, okay? Huh? If you have any doubt while solving, I forgot to tell one thing. So there is one question, isn't it? If n is equals to 3 or 4, n equals to 4 and L equals to or m equals to 0, find the maximum number. Find the maximum number. N equals to 1, 2, 3, 4. L equals to 0, 1, 2, 3. Isn't it? So M equals to 0, minus 1, 0, plus 1. Here minus 2, minus 1, 0, plus 1, plus 2, minus 3, minus 1, sorry, minus 2, minus 1, 0, plus 1, plus 2, and plus 3. The question is, now n equals to 4 and m equals to 0. If n equals to 4 and m equals to 0, what is the maximum number of electron? So a maximum number of electron found in n equals to 4 and m equals to 0. Yeah, just count this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Each shell has 2 electrons. So total number of electron is 8. Total number of electron is 8. Is this clear, student? If the question is m plus 1, if it is m plus 1, m plus 1, 1, 2, 3. So that is 3 into 2. That is equals to